The second season of the Total Drama Reboot is ending soon. 8 episodes have been released so far, while 5 remain. So in this video, I will predict what will happen in the remaining 5 episodes and who will win the second season of the reboot. Obviously, this video contains major spoilers for the second season of the reboot, so go watch the episodes that are available before watching this video. Anyway, starting off with episode 9. Breaking up is hard to do. Caleb is desperate to put his relationship with Priya back together, while the campers tear apart the largest objects that they can find. Well, would you look at that? We have a hint of what the challenge could be. I'm not going to talk about the challenges that much, since in the descriptions of the rest of the episodes, the challenges are put right there. But for this episode, I think the ripping apart of big objects element in this episode's challenge is probably because there's either a key in one of the objects or an item that will help the contestants progress further in the challenge. Anyways, let's talk about what the campers might be doing this episode. So as the description says, Caleb is desperate to put his relationship with Priya back together because he's actually into her and he's not just pretending to like her, just so he could get farther in the game. And he's gonna need some help. So who could he ask? My guess is Damien. Damien is a cool dude, so I can see him helping out Caleb. Although, it would probably go something like this. Caleb asks Damien for help with his situation with Priya, but at first, Damien wouldn't want to listen to Caleb because he broke Priya's heart. Caleb would eventually convince Damien to hear his side of the story, and after he learns of the full story, Damien would probably be down to help Caleb fix his relationship with Priya. Meanwhile, Priya would still probably be depressed about Caleb just using her to get ahead in the competition. And guess who would show up to comfort her? Julia. I don't actually think that Julia is going to comfort her, because instead, she's probably going to take advantage of the state Priya is currently in, and then manipulate her into thinking that she needs to get revenge on Caleb. This would probably work, and it would cause Priya to hold a grudge against Caleb. I feel like Julia's plan here would be to first get Caleb out of the game, and then get Priya out. And as for MK, well, I think Julia will task her with finding out who has the immunity idol. However, I don't think she'll end up finding out who has it. I don't really know what the Hockey Bros would do this episode. They would probably be plotting to get Julia out since she's a threat, and it would be revenge for Julia getting Bowie out, but I don't know. Anyways, on to the elimination. Thanks to the description of episode 10, we know that Caleb, Priya, and Julia are still going to be in the game. In fact, I believe that Caleb will gain immunity this episode, since the challenge has to do with breaking stuff, and Caleb is pretty strong. So that just leaves us with MK, Damien, and the Hockey Bros. Now, besides the leaks for the other episodes' titles and descriptions, we also got some leaked screenshots of some scenes from the remaining episodes. Now, I'm going to talk about 2 screenshots in particular, that being the one from episode 10, circling the drain, and episode 11, working K9 to 5. Damien is present in the episode 10 screenshot, so he's not going to be the one eliminated in this episode. So that just leaves us with MK and the Hockey Bros. In the K9 to 5 screenshot, we see Wayne presumably escaping from a canine dog. I think that's a canine. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. And we can see that the canine has ripped up Raj's jersey. So this means one of 2 things. 1. Raj is eliminated and he decided to give his jersey to Wayne. Or 2. Raj is still in the game, but removes his jersey and throws it near the canine to use it as a distraction so he and Wayne can make a quick getaway. Now, if the second option actually is the case, then MK might as well be eliminated. It might make sense because her and Julia are a threat, and splitting their alliance by getting MK out would leave Julia on her own. But on the other hand, if one of the Hockey Bros is eliminated instead, it might be Raj. So which option do I think is most likely? Well, I think MK might be going home. If this happened, it would be a shocker to everyone because most people expected one of the Hockey Bros to be leaving. Plus, since Caleb isn't up for voting, Priya would probably target MK and Julia, but since MK is basically Julia's right-hand woman, Priya would want to get her out first, so Julia would be left on her own. Moving on to episode 10, Circling the Drain. Julia gets between Caleb and Priya during the most painful memory game of all time. We already know what the challenge is, so let's get on to the interactions. Julia, after losing MK, would desperately need to find out who has the immunity idol, and I think in this episode, she finally finds out who it is. Before the challenge starts, she spies on each contestant, and eventually she gets to Damien. And once she spies on Damien, she'll find out that it's him who has the immunity idol. so she has to do whatever it takes to get the immunity idol from him. She would also get between Priya and Caleb, as said in the episode's description. Moving on to the elimination, I think Julia will gain immunity this episode. I honestly doubt that Caleb would get immunity twice in a row, and as for the person who's going home, well, once again, thanks to the screenshot leak, we can rule out Caleb and Wayne, since Caleb is present in the screenshot for episode 12, while Wayne is present in the screenshot for episode 11. We can also presumably rule out Raj, because as I said earlier, Raj might have taken off his jersey and thrown it near the K9 as a distraction, so he and Wayne can make a quick escape. So that just leaves us with Priya and Damien. And unfortunately, I think Damien is the one going home. I don't think Priya and Caleb will fix up their relationship that fast in one episode, but you may be wondering, doesn't Damien have the immunity idol? Well, I think in this episode, before the elimination, Julia is going to steal it from him and use it for herself in one of the remaining episodes. I really hope I'm wrong about this, cause I was hoping Damien would get to at least the top 3, but you never know. Now we have episode 11, working K9 to 5. Campers are attacked by a pack of fearsome attack dogs and one pug. So the challenge seems to have to do with avoiding the K9s and the pug, I think. Also, I think this will be the episode where Caleb and Priya finally fix up their relationship. How, you may ask? Well, there might be a scene in the episode where Priya seems to need some help defending herself against the attack dogs, and to her surprise, Caleb would come to her aid, proving that he does actually care about her, and after that they would probably have a moment where Caleb explains everything to Priya, and then they both fix up their relationship. As for the person who I think will get immunity, I think it'll be one of the hockey bros. Which one though? Well, I think it will be Wayne. No particular reason, I just think it would be Wayne. As for who's being eliminated, I think this is the episode where Priya finally goes home. She would have fixed up her relationship with Caleb, and I doubt she would be a back-to-back winner, since that's never happened before. Also, she's a huge threat in the game, so it would make sense for the others to vote her out. Episode 12 time, Off the Hook. Things get scary when the campers are pulled into a fishhook challenge that pits them against each other and their worst fears. Now, according to the screenshot for this episode, we know what Caleb's fear might be, but for the others, we don't, so why bother guessing? The person who I think will get immunity would be Caleb. At the elimination, both the hockey bros and Caleb would vote for Julia since she's a threat, but this is where she uses her immunity idol. Because of this, one of the hockey bros is eliminated instead, and I think that will end up being Wayne. Yeah, I know he's present in the screenshot for the finale, but that might be because he's a helper. Finale time. I'm gonna make this quick and short. First off, we have the helpers. Wayne possibly being a helper implies that either the helpers were chosen via a wheel again, or that Chris let the finalists pick their helpers. Here are the helpers that I think will go alongside each finalist. Wayne with Raj, probably because of the screenshot, Priya with Caleb, and MK with Julia. So out of Caleb, Julia, and Raj, who's gonna take third place? Well, every total drama season, with the exception of Revenge of the Island, has had a female versus male finale, with one of them taking home the $1 million. So because of that, I think Caleb will end up taking third place. So now it's between Julia and Raj. Who do I think will win? Well, I think the underdog would win this season. That being Raj, he would be one of the last people you would think of winning. And if Julia or Caleb won, then it would just be pretty predictable since both are strong competitors. So yeah, I think Raj will be the winner of this season. Well, that's a wrap for this video. If you want to see a video similar to this, then you can go check out the T-Bond 9 prediction video that I made. Also, please subscribe. We're so close to 1,000 subs, and I would be very happy if we reached 1K before February. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and goodbye!